In 1987, the Persian Gulf was a highly volatile zone. To protect Kuwaiti oil tankers from being targeted during the Iran-Iraq War, the United States launched Operation Earnest Will. At the time, the U.S. Navy was the uncontested master of the seas, escorting civilian ships through the waters with massive, heavily armed convoys. Knowing they couldn't survive a head-to-head conventional battle with American destroyers, Iranian forces pivoted. They shifted their focus toward asymmetric warfare, using unconventional, cheaper tactics designed to bypass American radar and heavy naval armor entirely. That shift became violently clear in October 1987. Iran fired a 3,000-kilogram Chinese-made Silkworm anti-ship missile directly from the coastline. It slammed into the bridge of the MV Al Sa'i, a reflagged American tanker. The explosion injured 18 crew members and permanently blinded the ship's American captain. The strike proved a difficult reality for military planners. A fleet of multi-million-dollar warships couldn't guarantee safety against a cheap, land-based weapon fired from the shore. By April 1988, Iran adapted its strategy again, looking for a way to inflict damage while maintaining plausible deniability. Their solution was a covert network of contact mines, secretly dropped into the Persian Gulf by speedboats under the cover of darkness. This cross-section of the water shows how the trap functioned. Iranian forces chained the mines to heavy anchors, so they floated exactly 5 meters below the surface. This specific calibration meant they remained completely invisible to lookouts above the water, but were perfectly positioned to strike the massive 10-meter-deep hulls of passing U.S. warships. On April 14th, a U.S. guided missile frigate, the USS Samuel B. Roberts, struck one of these submerged mines. The blast tore a 21-inch hole into the ship's hull, immediately flooding the engine room and crippling 2 of its turbines. The mathematics of the encounter were staggering. A simple $500 piece of tethered iron had successfully paralyzed a high-tech $40 million American warship. Fast forward to June 2019. Heavy economic sanctions effectively zeroed out Iran's oil exports, but they did not stop their military evolution. Instead of relying on crude iron sea mines, Iran developed highly advanced indigenous air defense systems. To monitor Iranian military movements, the U.S. deployed the RQ-4 Global Hawk. This massive unmanned surveillance drone operated at an altitude of 60,000 feet. Commanders believed it was flying so high that standard air defense systems simply couldn't reach it. Just 20 seconds after the drone crossed into restricted radar range, an Iranian Sevim Cordine surface-to-air missile struck it dead center, turning the 60,000-foot aircraft into a fireball over the Persian Gulf. The technological gap had officially closed. Iran engineered the capability to make high-altitude airspace lethal, projecting power beyond hidden traps at sea. Following the U.S. drone strike that killed General Qasem Soleimani in January 2020, the stakes escalated. Iran abandoned the shadows and publicly promised direct military revenge against the United States. That retaliation arrived on January 8th. Dozens of Fateh and Qiyam ballistic missiles rained down from the night sky, headed straight for the U.S. Al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq. This diagram shows the layout of the Al-Assad base during the attack. Every incoming missile bypassed the open airfield to lock on to specific high-value infrastructure, starting with the base's massive fuel depots. A secondary wave of missiles followed moments later, surgically striking the hardened shelters where U.S. aircraft were housed. Finally, the command posts themselves were wiped out. Every missile fired at these critical infrastructure points found its mark, achieving a 100% success rate. Because U.S. intelligence provided early warnings, soldiers had time to take cover in deep bunkers. But as the smoke cleared, the physical infrastructure of the base, hangars, runways, and barracks, was completely devastated. Iran had completed its transition. The era of covert sea mines had evolved into an age of direct, high-precision ballistic strikes launched against an American stronghold. In the immediate aftermath, the U.S. political response attempted to minimize the strike. President Donald Trump told the public, "All is well," and initial reports from the administration claimed there were 0 casualties. But the medical reality surfaced weeks later. Over 100 American soldiers were eventually diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries. The massive concussive force of the exploding ballistic missiles severely damaged their nervous systems, causing blackouts and long-term trauma. This revealed a highly calculated strategy. By explicitly targeting infrastructure and inflicting concussive damage, Iran demonstrated its lethal capability. But by intentionally avoiding massive fatalities, which they could have achieved by targeting the sleeping barracks, they avoided triggering a full-scale conventional war. The philosophy driving the 2020 missile barrage is exactly the same one that placed those $500 sea mines in 1988. It is an asymmetric doctrine of maximum impact for minimum exposure, entirely upgraded with 21st century precision. Over 40 years, Iran has rewritten the rules of engagement in the Middle East, proving that American conventional supremacy is permanently vulnerable to their evolving asymmetric arsenal.